Okay. Hello. Okay, I am just gonna go because I know a lot of you are gonna catch this on the replay. This is messaging part 3, and I apologize for not giving you a heads up and for going so late. I have a pop-up I gotta do in just a little bit, and so it's just been crazy. Yesterday I tried to take a little bit of a mental health break, and that didn't work out, but I tried. So that's why I didn't come live yesterday, because some things had happened and I just needed to check out for a few minutes, and sometimes we just need that. So we are on part 3. I'm going to jumble up 2 things, and we're going to talk about follow-ups, and we're going to talk about chicken list. So if you do hop on and watch this later on the replay, comment replay below. If you're hopping on and you're live, say hi. Hello, Megan. Let others know that I am live, and we will go. So follow-ups. Let's talk follow-ups. So you've messaged people, maybe they were just a brand new friend or, whatever, and you're going to follow up. What's the follow-up process? Hey, Adrienne, so here's what I would tell you. This is what I suggest. And planners are very important to have for this reason, because you can put little names and little things, hey, Tracy, to kind of keep up. So when I initially, let's talk, would you like to talk about customers or opportunity? What are you... As far as follow-up, what is your struggle? Is your struggle following up with those thinking about joining, or those that customers? So I kind of know which direction you want me to go in. Now I'll give you a little of both, but I'd like to know where those who are watching and hopped in, what is your struggle more with? Following up with somebody about the opportunity, or following up with somebody about becoming a customer or purchasing? Because the customer, I think, is a little easier. You can always just say, hey, did you have a chance to check out that site, or did you pick out which lash you wanted, and whatnot? So I'm really thinking opportunity. Thank you. Follow my thoughts. So following up for opportunity. You initially have spoken to them, and what did you do? You asked them to be, if they wanted to be added to the opportunity group, correct? So you add them to the opportunity group, you've pinned them in the pinned post, and you said, hey, Adrienne, thank you for, I've added you, this is our opportunity group, and, message me if you have any questions, and now what? Like, you dumped them in the group, now what? So 24 hours later, 24, no more than 48, okay? So I hope you're taking notes. 24, no more than 48 hours later, you need to message them, and you need to ask, did you get a chance to browse through the opportunity group? If they say yes, we go in a different direction. If they say no, we go in a different direction. If they say no, posture yourself. We've gone over this before. So posture yourself and say, okay, well, I'll check back with you in a couple weeks, and leave it at that. Or, I'm really busy too, so I'll check back with you in a couple weeks. Done. If it's a yes, then you need to, do you have any other questions for me? And ask them, what did you can even ask, what did you like best about the opportunity group? What did you find the most appealing to you? Ask them questions, talk to them for a few minutes. When you're done having a discussion and it comes to the point where you're just like, okay, there's no other questions to be asked or said, and you ask, do you have any other questions? And they say no, then the direction you're going to go is, well, it looks like you're ready to join. And leave it at that. Don't ever respond to them. That's it. It looks like you're ready to join, and you're done with questions. We're done. Okay. So at that point, you're done, and you're not going to respond until they respond, even if it's a year later. That's one way. Now, let's go to the real scenario, because that's not a typical, it's not always that easy, right? So you message them and you ask if they looked at the opportunity group, and they say, yes, they did. And maybe you ask, what was your favorite thing? And they tell you comp plan, or they, whatever, tell you the mission, whatever it is they tell you. So you're like, okay, cool. The conversation's going well. And then somehow it falls off, right? Hey, Candace. And it just falls off, right? Like, their conversation ends. And so now how do you follow back up? What I suggest that you do is, after you've added them to the opportunity group and you've contacted them within that 24 to 48 hour period, when that conversation is done, whether they respond or not, I want you to follow up with them about 3 days after that. So the first time is 24, 48 hour period. Next time, wait 3 days. So 3 days later, maybe even 4, 3 to 4, I want you to message them nothing about the opportunity. I want you to message them and just say, hey, Candace, how are you today? Or, hey, Candace, I saw that, something, whatever, something happened. So, and just chit chat with them. Don't even talk about the opportunity. That way they don't feel like you are pressuring them. They don't feel like you're attacking them or trying to, get their money. You're still their friend. Okay. Now, if it's somebody that you don't have that kind of relationship with, and maybe they came to you and asked for information on a group or something, then what I do is I just say, hey, Vanessa, how are you? And they usually come back and they usually answer for me at that point. If I don't know, I'm like, oh, hey, I haven't looked at anything. Okay. So at that 3 to 4 day mark, when you've just chit chatted, now when do you respond again? When do you follow back up? About a week. Okay. So at the week mark, you've had them in the opportunity group. So you talk 3 to 4 days, you're talking almost a week later. So this is now extending out. A week later, you're going to reach out. And what I usually just say is, I'm trying to think of one I sent today. Hey, I'm just touching base. Do you have any other questions about the opportunity? It's as simple as that. And I want you to keep it simple. The simplicity is everything. So the simpler it is, the easier it's going to be for you to be able to get that connection and conversation going. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be, just get to the point. Don't sit there and try to sugarcoat it, and don't say, I'm just following up with you. I want you to write that and exit out. No, do not say that. I'm just following up with you. Have I said it? Yes. Do I use it sometimes? Yes. But I want you to steer clear of that at all possible. And say, hey, I'm just touching base. Or if you just must say it, say, hey, I'm touching base. Do you have any other questions for me about the opportunity? It is their choice. So even when you're asking and you're following up with them, it's ultimately their choice. There is nothing that you're going to do to change their mind. Okay? So don't word vomit them. Don't try to change their mind. Don't try to convince them. That's not your job. And if they need convincing, you should not want them on your team. So don't try to convince them. Can I get an amen for that? Like, you do not want them on your team if you have to sit there and try to make them join. That's not what you want. So follow-ups, recap, put them in the opportunity group, 24, 48 hours. Next time, 3 to 4 days. Next time, a week later. After that, if you still haven't got them to join, I start out with 2 weeks. If you notice, there's a pattern here. It's almost double every time. So the next time I reach out to them is 2 weeks later. After the 2 weeks, I move to a month, okay? And then what I do when I start extending out to this 2 weeks and this month and extending out further and further is I had not responded to people in about, the last batch of people I had responded to that I hadn't in a while was 4 to 6 weeks, and I hadn't talked to them, but they never really responded the last time I messaged. And what I sent them is I said, hey, Megan, I just wanted to hop in and give you an update. That's how I started it. I just wanted to hop over here and give you an update. We have about 1,200 brand ambassadors now. We've been open, this is what I sent last week. We've been open about 13 weeks, and whatever. You can say, we just launched a new Lash, and we're going to be launching a minimum of 1 to 2 products every month through the year of 2018. I just hop in and give them an update. So after you've extended it to that 4 to 6 weeks, then when you do update them, you're just updating. Because some of them will ignore it. Others will respond and be like, oh, that's awesome. Others will respond and say, oh, I totally forgot about this. Let me look again. And they may ask questions. So 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months is how I do it. Is 2 months too long? Yes. Yes. I like 24 to 48 hours, 3 to 4 days, a week after that, then extend it to 2 weeks, and then after the 2 weeks, a month tops. Now, if you, let's say, Candace, 3 days, 3 times in a row, maybe at the 3 to 4 day, and then at the week, and then at the 2 week, like they're not responding, they're just not even responding, then extending it out to 2, 4, 6 months is okay. Give it some time, come back. Let's revisit this later. So it's really up to you how you want to tailor that. But the way I respond to them when I do follow up is depending on when I'm following up. If it's in the 24, 48 hour period, I'm asking, did they review the opportunity group? Are there any other questions that I can answer? What did you like most? What did you like best? Whatever, and get them chit-chatting. The 3 to 4 day mark, I'm asking, hey, did you have an opportunity to check out that opportunity group? And I always just kind of, or I may just chit chat with them and not say a word, which is typically the way I go. And that's what I told you here, is just how are you, and not say a word about opportunity, because they know it's there. They don't need you to remind them. But some people do. That's why you get back in their inbox. A week after that, when I message them, that's when I say, hey, I'm just touching base. Did you have any other questions? And then I wait. And that next month that I actually update, I do the update. So let's recap. 24, 48 hours, did you check it out? 3 to 4 days, hey, how are you? The next time is a week and you're just touching base. And then the last time is an update. After that, let it go for a while. Couple months, 3 months, and then come back and revisit it. At that point, they should not be on the hot list. They need to be dropped down. Mark them on the calendar to reach out to them in a couple months and be done. Be done. If they watch your stuff, if they like your stuff, so be it. You're not going to chase them. No chasing people. All right? So I want to know if you have questions about follow-ups. What do you need from me as far as follow-ups and how to follow up? Because it really is simple. We're human, people. We're human. So it's not that hard to follow up. I just don't want you to say, I'm following up. Or are you ready to join? Never, oh my gosh, never, ever, ever say, are you ready to join? Now, I just did that the other day. And I about killed myself. No, not really. But I was like, why did you say it? Because I was just like, bam, like marking. I was like, are you ready? Worst thing that you can do. Don't ever ask that. You're not asking them to cut. It sounds like you're, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay. So as far as follow-ups, are there any questions? I think that's good. Let's talk about chicken lists. If you have questions, I'll see them. I'll come back and answer them. Let me give me some water real quick. Now, whether you want to think of it as a chicken list or just your list, however you want to look at this, when you are messaging someone that you feel, Alexa, pause, that you feel would be really good at this, and you need to message them. I did a video not too long ago about this, but I'm going to kind of go over some things that you can do to reach out to them. But even though I'm going to give you some scripts, I want to talk about the mindset when you reach out to these people. And I've shared this story, but we have a lot of new ones on here, so I want to share it again. I have always let fear get in the way when it came to messaging people about the opportunity, about the lashes. But before it was, with another company. And so I wouldn't do it. I let fear get in the way. And I've done this over the years, and it was really hard on me because I had been in a company that it was very spammy. Okay. Very spammy. And so I wasn't real interested in messaging people. I wasn't interested in asking anything of anyone because I had done that. I asked for emails like crazy and spammed the heck out of them all the time and lots of cold messaging. Not the better moment of my life, but I was scared to message people because of it, because I didn't want to be that person anymore. And so, like the first video where you have to just kind of make up for that, you also have to let go of the fear of being spammy. Let go of that fear of maybe irritating people, because what's more important to you, growing or getting someone's satisfaction? It's really what you need to be thinking about. So when I joined Red Aspen and I was going full force, I had decided I'm not letting fear get in my way. I'm done with that life. I'm going to message. I don't care. I'm going to let the whole world know what I'm doing. And so when I did that, and I just threw all that fear out the window, and I started messaging people, I messaged people that I never would have imagined I would have messaged. I reached out to people I never thought I would reach out to. I asked for people to review the lashes I never thought would review the lashes. I did so many things that I never expected. Hey, Katie. So one of those things was reaching out to a purple status unique girl. And this girl and I had been friends for quite a while. I don't think she knew I existed. But I watched her and I thought that she was a doll. And so I I'd follow her. Well, something came up a few months before I joined Red Aspen where she was going on this trip. And she was going on a trip that I had just gone on. So I would comment like, oh, you're going to love it. So there was some interaction there. But there was never interaction in Messenger. Okay? So she gets real sick on this trip. And I watch this and I'm, praying for her and paying attention to what's happening. But that's the extent of our relationship. It was a Facebook cyber relationship. It wasn't even into Messenger. So when the Lash thing came out, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a Red Aspen, and I've got to message these people. I hesitated. Oh yeah, I hesitated. Should I message this girl or not? I opened up Messenger. There was no conversation ever with this girl. So this is like hardcore cold message if you want to think of it that way. But the other thing I thought in my head is we've commented back and forth. We have communicated. So is it really a cold message? So I did it very tactfully. And what I said was, I don't know if you saw, I think that's what I said. I don't know if you saw, but I have just joined the first social selling lash company. If you know anyone who wears Falsies, would you mind referring them to me? Or would you mind, letting me know? And I was careful about the wording because I knew that she was doing well in another company and that sort of thing. And that was not my intention, was to poach, but it was more, hey, I want to get out here. How do I get this out there? So I reached out to her. That particular person, I did not think would join me, nor did I think would respond to me. And she did. And we chit-chatted for a little bit. It took her a little bit to finally jump, but I knew she wanted information because of the way she was talking to me. There was something that just told me that she was gonna jump. And so I talked to her, whatnot. Well, that particular person just hit senior brand manager in this team today. So if you are scared to reach out to someone, you need to stop. You need to stop. So that's really what I want to start with, is your mindset, and give you that little story. You never know where the diamond is going to be. So don't stop looking for it. Okay. And don't be scared to message anyone, because you never know what's going to happen ever. Okay. So when you are reaching out, I want you to reach out to people. If you're brand new, oh yeah, you've got to message the scary ones, and you've got to just push the button and just, if you got to throw up, go throw up. But, just push the button. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Do it scared. If you've ever been scared, now is the time to do it scared. This is going to change your life. I guarantee you. Do it scared. So when you're reaching out, I want you to be tactful about it. Don't be scared. First of all, if you're scared, they can feel that. It's like a dog can feel that. Don't do that. They know if you come to, it's okay if, no, be bold and know what you're going to say. Hey, I just joined Red Aspen. It's the first social selling lash company in this industry. If you know anybody who wears Falsies, would you mind sending them to me? Bam. Easy peasy. Easy peasy, okay? Don't make it more difficult than it is. Now, if it's somebody on your dream list, then I've done videos about the verbiage and how, you just tell them, I want to be completely transparent. I absolutely adore you. I think you would be fantastic at this. I'm not trying to get you to jump over here, but if for any reason you ever look in a different direction, I would love to chat with you about this, because I know that you would absolutely slay it. Be honest and be real. And I guarantee you that's going to take you so much further. But I think that you need to get in Messenger and you need to be messaging people on a constant basis, right? You need to be creating those relationships with the friends, because if you have already, here's where the cold message comes in. You're not cold messaging someone if you've already had a conversation with them. You've already chit-chatted with them on Facebook. That's not a cold message, okay? So a cold message is when you've never spoke to them. Ever. Okay. So if you message them and you said, hey, Tiffany, thanks for the friend request. How are you? And they said hi, and they went back and forth, and y'all chit chatted a bit. And now you go to them and you want to message them, or maybe it's taken time and y'all have commented or you've talked about the weather and you've gone to Messenger and you've chit-chatted. You have a rapport already, so you can talk to them. Okay, here's another thing that you don't need to be scared about in Messenger. When somebody pitches you, don't be afraid to go back. I had someone today that messaged me and said, hey, I noticed you commented on my post, something like that. And I was like, I'm not sure what post you're referring to, but okay, kind of like what? And she said, well, it was about whatever. It was free shipping or something. I said, oh yes, I remember. It was really cute because she did like a poem or something. It just made it really cute. Her advertising was good. And she's like, well, are you wanting to order? Am I wanting to order? So I responded to her and I said, oh yes, I see that mascara is great. That's wonderful. But, you know, I'm with Red Aspen, and cause they asked, are you with them? And I said, no. And so she asked what Red Aspen was, and she was like, oh, so it's like our company. No, it's not like your company. So then she asked if I wanted to order, and my response was, that I had already used it, thank you, and that if she ever knew anybody who needed Falsies to let me know. But then she tried to go further and try to pitch me, and so I pitched back. Oh, no problem. I will pitch back and say, you know what? I'm not really interested, but if you're ever looking in a different direction, I mean, don't be afraid to be bold. Those people, if they don't want to be on your friends list, they need to go. Because if they're just trying to sell to you anyways, so be it. But don't be afraid to tell people who you're with or what you're doing. Be a human being, okay? That's the biggest thing. Be a human being. I want you to talk to people. If you haven't talked to them in a long time, I want you to reach out to them and say, you know, we haven't chatted in a while, and I really wanted to see how you were doing. Pick people out that you know would be really good at this and tell them. Tell them. But be nice about it and be respectful about it and say, I'm not trying to sway you. I just want you to know that I admire you. And if you were ever looking in a different direction, I would love to talk to you. So, do you have any questions about follow-ups or about how to reach out to your chicken list? Because I want to make sure I cover these things. We are going to talk more tomorrow. I will wrap up this messaging, and it might be a little longer tomorrow, but I'm going to wrap up messaging and really give you a basis to run off of from Messenger and how to, there's going to be a lot. I'm going to wrap up everything about messaging tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to talk to you about what to send out to people maybe you haven't talked to in a while, and how often you should be messaging and that sort of thing. So are there any questions about follow-ups or about messaging your chicken list? Anything at all? It really is about mindset. So I know people want this easy peasy way to message people, and there's got to be a way to make it happen. And the way you make it happen is you just be you, and you just be real, and you just chat with people. And I love using Messenger more than Facebook. So I may be scrolling through someone's feed and I see that maybe they left a company, or maybe they had a baby, or maybe, you know, whatever. And I will actually message them instead of comment. Okay, I did that today. Someone left a company and I turned around and messaged them. I didn't go comment on everything like everybody else. So go message them. It makes it just more personal, okay, more real. Just like I said with the happy birthdays and doing that vocally, it's just more personal and real, and people want that connection. So if you're giving them a connection, you can definitely pull it over into Messenger. How do you transition from chit-chatting to Red Aspen and being a customer or being a brand ambassador? Well, I will cover that tomorrow. That's going to be the way I wrap this up with everything else that goes into it. Okay. So I will see you tomorrow, and I hope this helped. If you have any questions about what I shared, please drop them below and I'll come back and answer them. Bye guys.